The Amazing Spider-Man, issue number 9, The Man Called Electro. As our tale begins, a startled group of pedestrians in New York see one of the most colorful characters of all time dash past them at dazzling speed.
Look, it's Spider-Man.
Wow, wonder where he's rushing to. Must be a matter of life or death.
Ignoring the crowds as if they don't exist, the amazing masked adventurer hurtles from rooftop to rooftop until he is virtually lost from sight.
Have to hurry, not a minute to lose.
Meanwhile, a short distance away,
The odds are against us unless help arrives. Keep firing, Joe. Don't let him get away. What a break. Here comes Spider-Man. With his help, those gunmen are as good as finished. We're sunk. It's Spider-Man. Might as well give up now while we still can. Yeah, we sure can't fight him, too. He's swinging right past us. He didn't even notice us. What nuts we were to give up. Spider-Man wasn't gonna butt in anyway.
A few minutes later.
I'm close to home now. Might as well start changing to Peter Parker. It's too dark for anyone to see me, and it'll save me time later. Home at last. Now to rush upstairs. Here, Aunt May. I filled the doctor's prescription as fast as I could.
Thank you, Peter, dear. But how did you get back so fast?
By switching to Spider-Man, because I know how badly you needed this medicine.
You're such a dear boy, Peter. I'm tired now. I think I'll go to sleep.
That's good, Aunt May. The doctor said you should get a lot of rest. I haven't the heart to tell her what else the doctor said about how ill she really is. She's asleep now, but I better sit here in case she needs me. Poor Aunt May, she's always been so good to me, just like a mother. If only I could do something.
And so, Peter Parker keeps the long vigil, not dreaming that a strange figure on the other side of town is going to play a very important part in his life very soon.
I'm all wired up for what I must do. I'll give myself a full charge of electricity tonight, for there's no telling what I may run into. There, now I'm ready to try out my new power, and the world is about to meet Electro. I might as well start with something difficult, like that armored car which is carrying a shipment of gold. Don't bother putting that gold in the car. I'll just take it now.
For the love of Pete, what's that? This town is full of crackpots. Search me.
A crackpot, am I? You'll think differently after I've disarmed you.
Hey.
I told you I'd take those bags. Ow, he's tossing electric shocks. Naturally, that's why I call myself Electro. All the power of electricity is mine, and if you are still not convinced, I'll merely surround you in this ring of electricity until you give me the bags I have asked for.
Do as he says, chum. That guy's a lot more than we can handle.
And the next morning, back at Peter Parker's.
Good thing you called me, Peter. Your aunt is worse. We've got to send her to the hospital. The hospital?
But Peter, dear, if I go to the hospital, who will look after you? Who will get you your meals, take care of you?
Please, Aunt May, don't worry about me. The important thing is for you to get well. I can take care of myself. Honest.
Later, at school, Peter is oblivious to the usual taunts of his classmates.
Hey, bookworm, what's new in Doleville? Smatter, teacher's pet, too busy to answer us common folk? I don't know, maybe I've been too rough on Parker. He's more of a man than I thought. I still remember that last fight we had. Hey, Peter, wait up. I want to talk to you. Did Peter Parker give you the cold shoulder or what, Flash, old boy? Yeah, that's what I get for starting to soften up. Puny Parker always was a big zero, and he always will be.
But this is one time when Peter Parker couldn't care less for Flash's opinion. A few minutes later, we find him at the hospital.
Your aunt is all right at the moment, son. We're not quite ready to operate yet. Would you like to see her? Yes, Doc. I sure would. Hello, Aunt May. Oh, Betty Brant.
Isn't it sweet of Betty, Peter? She came to visit.
When I heard about your aunt, I came to see if there was anything I could do. I hope you don't mind.
Mind? Gosh, no, Betty. I appreciate it.
Peter, you look pale. Are you eating enough, dear?
Of course, Aunt May. Now you just worry about yourself.
Later, when visiting hours are over.
Do you mind if I don't see you home, Betty? I have something important to attend to.
Certainly, Peter. I know you must have a lot on your mind, what with your aunt's illness and all.
But after Peter has left,
It's strange. Although Peter seems so calm and easygoing, I get the feeling that he's like a smoldering volcano inside, just waiting to erupt. It's as though he carries a deep secret within him, one which no one can ever share.
And Betty Brett is closer to the truth than she suspects.
I've got to raise some money fast. Aunt May's operation will cost more than we have in the bank. I'll scour the city until I find some sort of crime that I can photograph. Then I'll send the pics to J. Jonah Jameson for as much as he'll pay. Oh no, it's starting to rain. I'm licked before I even start. My camera isn't good enough to take clear pictures in the rain. Some superhero I am, I could just see the headlines now. Spider-Man calls off fight against crime due to rain. Phooey. Well, now that I'm home, I'd better rinse out my uniform before it shrinks. With my luck, I'll probably wind up in bed with a cold. I wonder if the Human Torch ever has sinus trouble. Oh well, I'll leave my duds to dry and... Hey, I forgot. I left the shade up. Boy, all I need is to have the neighbors see a Spider-Man suit hanging up here.
And far into the long night.
I've read the same page a dozen times. How can I study with Aunt May in the hospital? No dough for the operation. My midterm exam's coming up soon. What a life.
The next day at the Forest Hills Bank.
But, Mr. Jameson, if you'll wait till tomorrow, we'll have all those figures for you.
No, nobody keeps J. Jonah Jameson waiting. I want those figures and I want them now.
Well, sir, you're one of our biggest depositors, so of course we'll do what we can.
That's more like it. When I give an order, I expect people to hop.
At that very moment, at the rear entrance to the bank.
Say, what was that? Lightning? It's someone breaking in, trying to rob the bank. I've got to get to the alarm and... Oh! One low power bolt hitting the alarms as the guard touches it will shock him into unconsciousness and also silence the alarm. How easy it is. I am Electro. Do not resist me and perhaps you will live to see another day.
Good heavens, who's that? What is the meaning of this? Look here. Whoever you are, you can't do this.
Well, if it isn't J. Jonah Jameson, so you think I can't, huh? His electric bolts are hitting our tie pins, belt buckles, metal tip shoelaces. Stop it! Stop it! Still think I can't do this? Ha! You're not so noisy now.
He knew who I was. That's a clue. He must be someone I know.
So the vault door is secured by a time lock. Well, that can't stop a man with my powers. I can control anything that operates electricity.
Minutes later.
Don't anyone try to follow or try to sound an alarm. My bolts can reach back a very great distance. He's escaping with a fortune.
Look, that strangely garbed man is racing up the side of the building.
He's holding on to the iron beams in the building by means of electric rays, using them like a magnet. Incredible!
Later, after Electro has reached the roof of the building and then vanished, the police begin to take and compare notes.
He was your average height, very confident, never seemed to doubt his power.
What else can you tell us, sir? There's only one person I could think of who is so powerful, so confident, who can climb sheer buildings, and who knows me. And there he is now, swinging up above. That's it. It has to be. Electro is Spider-Man. He hid the money, changed his disguise, and he's leaving now.
Whatever happened down below, it's over now. No sense in me hanging around.
A frantic minute later.
I tell you, Electro is Spider-Man. He has to be. There's no doubt about it.
Now calm down, Mr. Jameson. Do you have any proof? How do you know?
Proof? It can't be anyone but Spider-Man. That's enough proof.
Even though we know so little about Spider-Man, he's always been on the side of the law. And yet, don't let Jameson influence you. He'd accuse Spider-Man of anything.
And when the next editions hit the streets, the Chief's prediction proves to be correct.
Holy smoke, do you think the Bugle's accusation is true?
It must be. How could they print it if it weren't true?
Is Spider-Man Electro? Suddenly that one topic is on everyone's lips.
Spider-Man must be Electro. Why would Jameson's paper print it if it isn't true?
I've read the paper from front to back. They still offer no definite proof.
If Spider-Man isn't Electro, why doesn't he catch him?
And back at the hospital, where Peter Parker keeps the long vigil.
As if I don't have enough trouble as Peter Parker. Now Jameson is making things hot for Spider-Man.
The doctor would like to see you now, Peter.
We're almost ready to operate on your aunt, son. You realize, of course, that the specialist we had to engage charges a fee of $1,000? Yes, but my aunt's life is at stake. Do what has to be done. I'll get the money. Somehow.
Minutes later, in Jameson's private office at the Daily Bugle.
$1,000? Do you realize what you're asking? What on earth do you need it for? It's a personal matter, Mr. Jameson, but it's very important. Sure, you probably saw a hot rod you want to buy. I'd never lend money. Parker, you should know that. But if you could bring me photographic proof that Spider-Man is Electro, I'll gladly give you the money. Say, that gives me an idea.
Exactly 50 seconds later.
What a fool I am. There's a big reward for Electro's capture. If I can nab him, I won't have to beg the money from anyone.
And so the grim search begins.
Someone on that roof below, prowling in the dark. What a stroke of luck. Yeah, just like my usual luck, all bad. It's just a guy with a telescope, stargazing.
Hour after hour, all through the long night, Spider-Man continues to search, continues to hope against hope, as his chances for success narrow with each tick of the clock.
I must find Electro, I must. That light, flashing from that darkened building. Perhaps another false alarm, just some workmen making emergency repairs on a power line.
And still the search continues until at last.
Wait, what's that tinkling I seem to feel? It's my spider sense. It's a warning. He's somewhere near here. He must be. I was right. At last. There he is now. He's using his electric power like a mine detector. He just located a hidden safe in that deserted apartment.
Jewels, money, no matter how much I take, I want more, much more. And with my great power, nothing can stop me from getting it.
My troubles are over at last. I'll let him lead me to his hideout, recover his stolen loot, capture him, and get my reward from the police. Might as well take a few pics of him too while I'm at it.
But, as the saying goes, the best-laid plans of mice and men so often go astray. For that instant, Electro sees Spider-Man.
Spider-Man, lucky for me, I caught your reflection in the mirror on the wall.
That was careless of me, but no harm done. I'll still catch him.
I've been hoping we'd meet. I've been anxious to prove that my power is far greater than yours.
Phew, he hurled that lightning bolt before I even knew what happened. I ducked it only by sheer dumb luck. No time to kid around. I'll have to use my web, fast. Ah, got you. Still want to brag about your power, playmate? You'll have plenty of chance to do so when you're telling it to the judge.
This corny web of yours won't stop me. My electric rays can burn out of anything. And anyone stupid enough to touch me while my body is in electric shock condition has only himself to blame for the consequences. Ow, I didn't mean to do that, but it was his own fault. He didn't give me a chance to explain the danger of touching me. Well, with him out of the way, no single human is strong enough to challenge me.
But if Spider-Man underestimated Electro's power, Electro was guilty of the same mistake about Spider-Man. The master criminal has failed to take into account that Spider-Man's spider-induced strength enables him to survive a shock that can kill an ordinary human.
Ew, my head. That almost finished me. Not a trace of Electro. He's gone. Only one way to get that money now. I'll take some pics of myself and then superimpose them over Electro's pictures. It'll look as though I snapped Electro changing into Spider-Man.
The next day.
That's what I wanted. Photographic proof that Spider-Man is Electro. I don't know how you did it, but here's your check, Parker. I hate taking money for false pretenses, but I'll make up for it somehow. I've never cheated anyone before. It feels terrible. If it weren't such an emergency.
Is your aunt worse, Peter? You look so worried.
No, Betty, I'm not worried. Just feeling awfully ashamed of myself.
The next edition of J. Jonah Jameson's paper plasters the news all over the front page. In it, in the hours that follow, the sensational story is on everyone's lips.
Jameson's a nut. Why would Spider-Man take another identity? Nobody even knows who Spider-Man is.
Maybe he wants to pose as Electro and then later pretend that he killed Electro to become a hero.
Mr. Jameson wouldn't print it if it weren't true. But he could make a mistake.
And in the secret hideout in the heart of the city.
Haha, Jameson will have a long wait if he's gonna wait for Spider-Man to disprove anything. Now, with Spider-Man out of the way, I'll really keep things popping around here. Nobody will even remember Spider-Man when I'm finished. And nobody even remotely suspects who Electro really is. Nobody knows that I used to be an ordinary electric lineman named Max Dillon.
Max, I need you. Harris is in trouble on a high-tension pole. You've got to help him down.
Forget
get it. I don't do anything for nothing. How much bonus will you give me?
But the man's life is in danger, and you're our best poleman. Okay, you win. We'll pay $100.
That's more like it. Now don't get your jaws in an uproar. I'll bring him down.
Dylan is a rat. He'd have left Harris up there if I didn't offer to pay him. If he wasn't our best poleman, I'd bounce him in a second.
But I didn't care what anybody thought of me. And then it happened. 1,000,000 to 1 chance. I was working alone on a pole when lightning struck. I should have been killed instantly, but by a fantastic freak of fate, due to the way I had been grasping the electric wires, the two bolts of current canceled each other and I'm still alive. In fact, I feel better, stronger than ever. A short time later, when some wire clothes hangers got tangled over my arm, I discovered the truth about myself. Hey, there's a current passing through my body, through the hangers, making my fingers spark. I'm no fool. I instantly realized that the accident had charged my body with electricity. I raced home and began to experiment to see how powerful I really was. It's unbelievable. My body keeps recharging itself. I'm like a living electrical generator. The more I practice, the more skilled I become. I can do anything with my electric power. I can throw it, use it as a weapon. Taking every cent I had in the world, I bought a run-down house and equipped it like an electricity lab. With these devices, I could increase my power. There's nothing I cannot do. Finally, I ran completely out of money, but that didn't worry me. I'll disguise myself, take the name Electro, and get all the dough I want.
A few hours later, the extraordinary supercharged criminal uses his great power to force his way into a locked downtown building.
There are over a dozen prisoners here, waiting for the transfer to the federal pen. I'll set them free, get them to join me, to be my flunkies.
Once inside, Electro moves swiftly.
I can't fight all the police who will be coming after me. Soon I will set up an electric barrier to keep them back until I finish my job.
And minutes later, as Peter Parker is on his way to the hospital, he hears,
Calling all cars. Electro has broken into the West Side House of Detention. All cars proceed to the area.
Electro again? As soon as I see Aunt May and make sure she's okay, I'll go after him as Spider-Man.
but at the hospital.
We're ready to operate. Your aunt has been calling for you. She wants you to be here till it's over.
Then I can't tackle Electro yet. Not if Aunt May wants me, needs me. I can't run out on her. Don't worry, Aunt May. Everything will be all right. I know it will.
You won't leave me, dear?
I'll be right here all the time. I promise. Please let Aunt May come through this all right. She's been like a mother to me for all these difficult years.
Peter, I came to wait with you. I know how difficult it is to be alone at a time like this.
Betty. Maybe I haven't many friends, but one wonderful one like Betty makes up for all I haven't got.
And so the long minutes tick by as two figures sit in the silent waiting room, each deep in thought, sharing a bond which needs no words to explain. Meanwhile, outside the house of detention,
Still no sign of Spider-Man. This proves I'm right. He can't come to battle Electro because he himself is Electro.
and within the detention house walls,
This is our chance. We're free. Let's go. Wait, I haven't opened the iron gates for you. I give the orders. You must obey me. Ignore that nut. He must be from the psych ward. No, he's Electro. I heard about him. Maybe he's got a plan.
outside the building, those escapees who do try to flee are quickly rounded up by the vigorous action of the waiting police.
Fun time's over, pal. Back inside you go.
We should have waited. Should have listened to Electro.
And back at the hospital,
Parker, come in. Your aunt is calling for you.
Is she...
She's all right, son. The operation was a success.
Peter, is that you? Take my hand, dear.
Here I am, Aunt May. You're gonna be well again. The doctor said so.
That's enough, boy. She's dozing off now. The sedatives we gave her will let her sleep until morning. The danger is over. You look like you could use some rest too.
I guess so. It's been quite a strain. Betty, Aunt May is gonna be all right. The operation was successful.
Oh, I'm so happy for you, Peter. And now I've got to go. They need me at the office. Mr. Jameson isn't there. He went to cover the detention house riot. Peter, please don't go there to take any pictures. It could be dangerous.
But, Betty, the dangerous pics are the ones Jameson pays the most for.
I was afraid of this. You're beginning to enjoy the danger, the excitement, just like someone else I once knew.
I wish I knew what really bothers her, if she'd only just tell me someday.
Minutes later, no longer burdened by worry over his aunt, the world's most dramatic costumed figure streaks over the rooftops of New York, his heart pounding with excitement, his every nerve tingling with the thrill of impending battle.
And now for Electro. I'll just take an extra minute to stop at the store below and pick up a few things. A few little items with which to conquer Electro. They'll wonder for weeks who it was that entered that deserted store and left some money behind.
And just a few minutes later...
No sign of Spider-Man. This proves he's really Electro. I'll probably win the Pulitzer Prize for my scoop. That fool Parker doesn't know it, but I'd have paid $20,000 for those pictures.
Hey, look up there on the roof.
Huh? Up where? Oh no, it can't be, it can't. This ruins everything. Spider-Man isn't Electro. Electro's still inside. I was wrong. I'll be a laughingstock, and all because of Peter Parker. I hope Electro hasn't fled yet. I'm looking forward to this. Better put on those rubbers and the rubber gloves I got at the store to help insulate myself against him. And I'll position my automatic camera to get some pictures of whatever takes place.
And just a few feet away...
You men saw what happened to the fools who tried to escape without obeying my orders. They were all recaptured. But if you do exactly as I say and promise to work for me, I'll free you all.
We're with you, Electro. Just get us out of here.
Good. Now here's what will... What's that? No, it can't be. He's dead. It's the sign of the spider. Spider-Man is here.
I know it's bad manners to drop in without an invitation, but I'm sure you'll forgive me just this once.
You survived my attack once, Spider-Man, but I won't be so careless a second time.
Just stay there and keep talking, mister. I'll get to you in a minute. Okay, that'll stop your playmates for a while. And now...
Let's see you dodge this electric bolt, you overconfident braggart. He's tossing metal bearings in front of him. They'll deflect the power of the bolt.
Anyone with any knowledge of science knows that anything metal can act like a lightning rod, as the steel chair is doing.
You're wasting your time. My current is inexhaustible, and you'll soon run out of things to throw.
You kidding? I'm not gonna spend all day tossing things at you. These rubber gloves I'm wearing will give me a chance to massage your chin whiskers a while. Like this.
But as Electro reels back, brushing against the metal cell bars, the flash of intense currents temporarily blinds Spider-Man.
My eyes. I can't see.
Ha! Electric current revitalizes me. Now I'll be stronger than ever.
I've got to keep him away till my eyes clear. These steel bearings. They'll do the trick. Here, Sparky, kick these around for a while.
Bah! It's those blasted bearings again.
I'll stop them for you, Electro. Hey, what? Didn't think anyone would be dumb enough to try to sneak up behind a fella with a spider sense. If it's any consolation to you, chum, I'm pulling my punch all I can. I only want to knock you out, not demolish you. I wonder where Electro disappeared to. Uh-oh, the other prisoners are trying to escape via the roof. I better head them off fast. I haven't played leapfrog since I was a kid.
Then, reaching the top of the stairway, Spider-Man turns and...
Hey, didn't anyone ever teach you not to point? Especially with a gun in your mitt. Let's get down again. We can't tackle Spider-Man.
Anything's better than facing him.
We didn't realize how soft we had it in our nice quiet cells.
Look out, the police are down here.
You were expecting maybe the Pony Express?
I think we got 'em all now, but Electro's still at large.
And speaking of Electro...
Well, look who's here. So you were gone but not forgotten, huh?
You move pretty fast, Spider-Man, but how long do you think you can keep dodging electric bolts before you collapse from sheer exhaustion?
Long enough to wrap you up, Big Mouth.
Well, little man, I have another surprise for you. I caught the gun that you kicked downstairs, and now we'll find out whether a bullet or an electric bolt can get you first.
And what do you think I'll be doing? Standing around waiting for you? Here's a bucket of sand for you to chew on while you're making up that slow-witted mind of yours.
Is that the best you can do? Don't you know that electric current can turn sand to glass?
Sure, I know it, but you're busy showing off. It gives me time to shoot my web at your gun, jamming it so you can't fire. Do I make myself clear?
Livid with rage and frustration, Electro suddenly rips some highly charged power wires from the wall, whirling them menacingly around his head.
You've mocked me for the last time. Any of these wires, if it touches your body, will rid the Earth of Spider-Man forever.
This is serious. I can deflect some of them with my rubber gloves, but if one touches my body, it's curtains for me. He's getting closer. I can't back up any further. What have I bumped into behind me? It's a water main with a fire hose attached. Say, what kind of a science major am I anyway? Why didn't I think of this right away? Water and electricity just don't mix. Now if I can just hit the mark in time. I did it! It's a real short circuit. It stopped him cold. Life sure is funny. Here's one of the most powerful criminals of all time. And what finally beat him? Just a dousing from a plain ordinary water hose. Might as well remove his mask and see who he is. If this was a movie, I'd gasp in shock and then say, good heavens, the butler. But this guy, I never even saw before. Oh well, it won't take the police long to find out who he is. In fact, I can hear them coming now. Better get my camera out and get out of here. Hope the pics came out okay. It'll be the scoop of the year.
Later at the office of a sorely worried J. Jonah Jameson.
I've made a fool of myself. Nobody will buy my paper now. All because of that blasted Peter Parker.
Mr. Jameson, Peter Parker is here to see you.
Parker? You mean he dares to show his miserable face around here? Show that blankety blank of... in here? I'll make mincemeat of him. Well, don't just stand there.
Yes, sir. No, sir. Yes, sir.
Parker, before I fire you, I'm gonna tell you something. I'm suing you for fake pictures, for fraud, for anything I could think of. Relax, JJ. You're not firing me, and you're sure not suing me. What? Who do you think you're talking to? I'm talking to a man who can't fire me because I'm only a freelancer. We haven't gotten a contract, and I'm also talking to a man who's gonna whistle a different tune when he sees the pictures that I have for him. More pictures? What kind? See for yourself, Mr. Jameson. Still want to sue me? Action shots of Electro fighting Spider-Man. They're the real thing. They're worth a fortune. Parker, you little old son of a gun, you didn't think I was really angry, huh? Did ya? Of course not, JJ. Everyone knows you never lose your temper. You're the most kind-hearted, lovable publisher in the business. Yeah, it's right all over me, isn't it? Now just because I'm all heart, I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll take these pictures from you and I'll forgive you for the other pictures. Fair enough? Perfect. Now I'll feel I've made up for selling him those faked photos from before. Okay, Mr. Jameson, it's a deal. I'm robbing him. I'll make a fortune with these pictures. But I deserve it, 'cause he's a fool.
And the instant Peter Parker walks out of his office.
Stop the presses. Prepare to reprint page 1. Send all department heads in here on the double. We're going to put out an extra.
So, you didn't pay any attention to me. You went to the house of detention to take pictures after all.
Don't be angry, Betty. It's my job. Look, Betty, I like you better than any girl I've ever known. I wouldn't do anything to hurt you, but you can't stop me from doing what I have to.
Peter, I never told you why I left high school last year and took a job. I never told you about someone I once knew who reminded me of you. But I don't want to be hurt again.
Okay, Betty, I get the message, so I'm not Mr. Perfect. Sorry to have bothered you.
No, Peter, wait. You don't understand.
Minutes later.
The doctor said I can go home in a few days, Peter dear. But where is that nice Betty Brent? She's such a sweet girl.
Oh, her. She was kind of busy today. Asked me to give you her regards. Fate can sure hand a guy some hard knocks. I got more of a shock out of Betty flaring up than I did out of Electro, but I didn't mean to walk out on her. What got into me? I'll have to apologize to her. If she ever got mad at me, I couldn't take it. Never realized how much I like her and need her. Huh? Who's that?
Peter, wait. I'm sorry for what I said. Please don't be angry.
And so, two thoughtful, slightly confused young people walk off into the dusk, each groping for the right words to say, each feeling the first pangs of the emotion we call love. Next issue, more fascinating details about the life and adventures of the world's most amazing teenager, Spider-Man, the superhero who could be you. The end.
Well, guys, that was issue number 9 of The Amazing Spider-Man. We got our first introduction to Electro, and we got to see how Peter was dealing with Aunt May's illness. And lastly, towards the end there, we got to see things heating up between Betty and Peter's. Perhaps some romance will be found there in the future. But anyways, guys, if you enjoy this series, be sure to smash that like button, subscribe for more, and I'll catch you guys next time. Peace out.